Hello everyone. Today we are going to see how we can create a project file on the fly or through code how we'll be able to create a project file. For that we have to use Microsoft.build DLL for that, and I have created a sample project to demonstrate that how we can do that. So I'll just go through the code line by line and I try to explain what each of the statements do, and at the end we will see an output of creating a particular project file. We will see how a project file is getting created and how we can open that newly created project file. If, as you can see, this is the main program, and in the main function I have created a project root element dot create. I have created a root project element which will be the top level structure. As you know, the project file, if you open a particular cs project file, its contents are actually structured as an xml, as different xml nodes in a hierarchical fashion. So here we are trying to create a root project xml node. So that's what we are going to do it here. And in that particular root, there will be different subgroups. For example, if I open this particular thing, I will try to unload this particular project file and try to explain the project CSPRO structure for it. As you can see, there is an XML file in itself. The CSPRO is an XML file in itself, which is composed of different subnodes or subgroups. As you can see, property groups are there, item group is there, and different import tags are there. For similarly, we are going to create this particular XML structure through through our code. That's what we are going to do with the help of a library. Therefore, we will see how this is done. We will just switch back to the code. You will just reload the project and try to open program.cs. Yeah. As we can see, we have created a root node, and in that root node, we are trying to add the property group and the project property group. And the project property node contains sub properties called configuration and the platform, in which configuration this particular project needs to run and which platform it needs to generate the output assembly for. Therefore, we have added these two properties inside this particular property group. That's what we are doing it here. And this particular guy, we in this particular through this particular statement, we are trying to add references to the project in the references group. Therefore, in the add items is a static function in itself. Therefore, this particular guy will take in a project root element and try to add sub items to that particular group element. Therefore, here we are trying to uh, actually refer the reference group. As you can see, the second argument is the reference group, and this is the parameters. What are the sub items it needs to add into the project particular project group? Therefore, we are trying to add the system reference and system generic reference to this particular project. And in this particular second call to the same static function, we are trying to add the source files which needs to be part of this particular project. Therefore, we are trying to add the sample source.cs, which will be part of this particular project file. Therefore, same, we are trying to add this particular project source file under the compile project node group. And then after it's added, then what we are trying to do is we are trying to add the target build and the CSC compiler target to enable this particular solution to be compiled. We are trying to add certain tasks, and the target build target we are trying to specify. And for this, each of the task for CSC task, we are trying to set some parameters, means what will be the output assembly name and what will be the sources would be, what are the sources for the CSC will be the all the source files belonging to that particular project. Therefore, that's why this at the rate compile refers to the uh, project root element. It refers to a particular project root element, and in this particular case we are referring to the compile. Therefore, what all items are present inside this compile group will be acting as sources for CSC compiler. Therefore, CC compiler will take in all the source code and try to compile it when we try to build the particular project. That's what it means. And the output assembly that it generates is will be of the form sample source.dll in its own output directory. Then we are trying to save the project file in this particular console application output directory, where we can specify any absolute path name, but for simplicity, I've just given the project name as it is. For if you give the project name as it is, it will try to generate in the output directory. Therefore, currently I'm building in a debug mode. So it will generate in the bin debug folder, this particular project file. So we will try to add a breakpoint and try to do a debugging on it. So I have to change the startup project. Set this as a startup project, and then we are good to go. Yeah. And we'll just step through each of the things. Therefore, we have added these things in the group and add we have added the reference add items and set the target, etc. Let's try to see what are the contents of this route. Therefore, as you can see, it has four children. As you can see, we have added four items into this particular route. Therefore, it has got four childrens. And if you go to the children node, its count is 4. And if you go to the result view, we can see what all children it contains. One is the property, the project property that we have added. Therefore, if we again go to the node, we have added two project properties, like this configuration we have added and the platform we have added. This is visible here. And if you go to the second child, there are two items to it. Therefore, if we again go to children, and again try to see what this is the reference child. Therefore, here we have added two references, system and system to generic. That's what this talks about. And then if we go to the third child, so this talks about only it has only one child. For it actually takes in the compile, means what all the source files needs to be compiled. Compile section is the third child. And the fourth child is the build child, which actually takes in all the uh, build parameters, that CSC parameters, uh, which needs to run when we try to build a particular project. So that's what it is. For all the things that we have added into the particular root node is visible, is successfully added into this particular root, and at the end we are trying to save this particular XML node that we are trying to create in this particular file, as a CS project file. We try to execute this thing and it is successfully executed, and when we switch to the output folder, so once we switch to the output folder, bin debug, since I have built it in the debug mode, it will be present in bin debug folder. And here you can see the sample source.cs files. This is sample source.sln file also created corresponding to it. Therefore, we'll just try to launch this particular SLN file in Visual Studio. Sorry. Yeah. Once this particular output uh, solution file gets loaded, it actually adds in the source file, project file also. As you can see, this is the file that we have created, and it has the sample source which we have included in the source section. For this particular guy, will have these two references, system and system generic reference available to it. So that's what its default configuration is, the debug configuration that we have added, and it has the we can configure this. We can actually modify this project properties manually also once this project is created. So this particular project is automatically getting created once we execute this particular console application. So that's the beauty of this particular thing. And yeah, that's it for today's video. And maybe if you want the source code for it. I will actually paste in or plug in the blog post which contains the source code and the necessary explanation for it. And if you like the video, do subscribe to the channel and do share with your friends and colleagues. Thank you and have a nice day.